There is no way I can do a Nigerian Premier League video, have a Yoruba wife, and be dressed like this. There's just no way. All right. Now that I'm back into something a little bit more appropriate for this video, shout out to my wife who picked all this out. So, the Nigerian Premier League, huh? So, what do I know about the Nigerian Premier League? Well, not a lot. A little bit more than the Indian Premier League that I did in the previous video, which that was a good video too. Go back and watch it if you haven't. So here's what I know about the Nigerian Premier League. I know that there is a team, and I'm probably going to be pronouncing a lot of these wrong again, called Enyimba, who signed a former national team legend who I've actually watched this team quite a bit because they are playing on a channel here called Fanatiz, which is where I can get a lot of the domestic tournaments and a lot of the African tournaments. So I've been watching them quite a bit play in the tournament. And I know there's a team called River FC, which is in Port Harcourt. And I know that Lagos is surprisingly underrepresented in the league, which that was probably my biggest surprise back when I met my wife a few years back, because I wanted to check out some games. So that said, that's pretty much all I know about the league. So I'm going to be pulling these up on my laptop. I'm going to be reacting to the crest. Possibly if some information catches my eye, I'm going to be reading about that as well. We're going to be learning about this or at least I'm going to be learning about these as we go in this video. So it's legitimate, natural reactions that you're going to be seeing. So I think that's what makes these videos special for off-season shenanigans. So before I start the video, please drop me a like. Please drop a comment on what your favorite crest was, or if you've ever watched any of these teams play live. Let me know in the comments below and what your thoughts were on the stadium. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right, so we've got a decent amount to cover in this video, so I'm not going to spend too much time on the clubs like I did in the previous video because there was half the teams. But I will say this: it does say there's 20 teams in the Nigerian Premier League, but according to Wikipedia, there's 23 teams listed, and not every one of them has a crest that I can view. So I will not be putting them in this video just because of the sake that I don't know what the crest looks like, so I can't rank it. So the first club we've got up is the Abia Warriors in Omahia. I've never heard of that town, and I'm sure I didn't say it correctly. But they are called, actually, it doesn't have a nickname on here, but their crest, going by my normal rankings, which is a 1 out of 10, 5 being completely average. 5 doesn't mean it's bad. It just means there's nothing great about it and there's nothing good about it. I think this is a pretty good crest, actually. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of red and white, and if you've watched my videos, you know that. I love the deep red color like AC Milan or Bohemians and Dublin. But this red and white, this color scheme, I'm not the biggest fan of, but the crest itself, I like the swords that go in between it. I'm sure that means something, but just by skimming here, I can't quite figure out what it does mean. But it does say that they used to go under a different club name, which I'm not even going to attempt that one. But looks like they play in a small stadium. Looks like they're owned by the government. Yeah, I'd give this one a 5 out of 10. Completely middle of the road. The next club is the Aqua United FC, and it looks like they play in Uyo. I'm not sure if I know where that is. That looks like it's really far south Nigeria. But this crest, I really like it. The color scheme kind of reminds me a little bit of maybe like West Ham or Aston Villa. It's got that like off red color. And I'm going to be honest, whatever's in the middle of this crest, I quite like a lot. I'm not really sure what it means. Their nickname is the Promise Keepers. That's actually really cool. That's an awesome nickname. But I'm not sure what the symbolism there is in the center of the crest, but it looks awesome. And let's see, 30,000 stadium. So their stadium is about 3 times the size of the previous club. And yeah, I like this crest. I would give it a straight 6 out of 10. And there's a couple on here in a row that do not have crests for me to view, at least on Wikipedia. So that would bring me to the next one that I'm able to look at, which is the team that I'm most familiar with, which is in Inyemba. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I could ever give a crest a 10 out of 10 because that means it's absolutely perfect. But I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. The People's Elephant, the Abba Warriors. I mean, this crest to me is perfect. I love the elephant in the middle of the crest. I love the slight silhouette of the football in the center of the crest. I love that it's got the team name on there. I love that it's got the city at the bottom of the crest, and of course it's got the stars on there. To me, this is what a crest should be, and this is, yeah, I can't say enough good things about this one. 16,000 seat stadium, nearly 50-year-old club. I like their colors. They did get a chance to participate in Africa's version of Europe, the Europe League, Europa Champions League, whatever you want to call it. They did get a chance to participate in that. I did get to watch a few of their games, so I was happy about that. Moving on, the next club that I can look at is Heartland Football Club. This is a interesting crest. It's different, that's for sure. I'm going to be honest, I don't like this. To me, this looks like a logo for like bread or something. Like, it just reminds me, like, if I'm going to the market to buy bread, I expect this logo to be on the bread. I'm not saying it's, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad. It just, to me, it doesn't look like a football crest. I mean, obviously the Heartland, it's got a heart on it. I'm guessing that is sort of like a cursive HFC in the middle of it on a typical looking badge. Generic, to me, a generic looking badge. Nickname: the Millionaires, the Spartans, the Scientist. Okay, y'all are going to have to explain that to me because neither of those three make sense to me. But the fourth one listed on here is the Hearts. That one obviously makes a little bit of sense, but the Scientists, the Spartans, and the Millionaires, yeah, y'all are going to have to explain that one to me. I don't get it, but I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it's just not, to me, it's not a football-looking crest. Next, we've got the Kano Pillars. Now, I do know where Kano is. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, if it's Kano or Kano, but this is a cool city, by the way, one that I would like to go to at some point. And the crest, there's a lot going on here. A lot going on here. But I like it. The green and yellow color scheme, that is, at least in terms of Europe and the US, that's a unique color scheme. But I do like it when it goes together because to me it's unique. And let's see, how big is their stadium? Does it say 16,000? Okay, so it's not the worst stadium. There's actually, can I view the stadium? There's a link to it. I can't view what the stadium looks like, but there is a map of where it is. So nickname is something that I don't even know how to say. And it looks like their home attendance is the second highest in the league on average. So shout out to the supporters there. But the crest, I don't want to sound completely stupid here, but the symbolism in the crest reminds me of some pretty old things in Kano. Could be wrong about that. But there's actually, I mean, Kano is just a very, very, very ancient old city with a lot of history. I don't know what everything on this crest means, but I'm going to assume that a lot of that pays homage to a lot of the things in Kano. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. I quite like this a lot, actually. And let's go and see what the next club is that I can actually view. Okay, here we go. Quara United FC, which it looks like they play in Lauren. Where is that? That looks like it would be near Ibadan, Abeokuta, somewhere up in that area. I'm sure my wife is cringing at me right now. But 18,000 seat stadium, so it's a decent stadium. Harmony Boys, that's a cool name. The crest itself, I don't particularly like it, just because the main focus of the crest is the football. And if the main focus on the crest is the football, to me, that's just kind of lazy. You've got some unique off purple color and green. I don't know if I've ever seen that color scheme. So I don't know why you're not doing more with that instead of just focusing on the big soccer ball. Yeah, I got to give this one like a 2.5 or a 3 out of 10. If you support this club, I'm sorry, but you could be doing a lot more with that. The next one, oh, this is nice. The next one is Nasarawa United, located in Lafia. And I also don't know where that is. Where is this? And this is located in the part of Nigeria that I don't know anything about. So I'm not even going to attempt to know anything about that. 10,000 seat stadium. The Solid Miners for a nickname. Okay. So this crest is a couple of different shades of green, and again with the football in the middle, but at least it's not overbearing like the previous one. I love this. I actually love the way this looks. The green to me just works, although it looks like to me, at least based on the image on Wikipedia, the kits don't necessarily reflect the crest. I see in a way with like sky blue colors. But the crest itself, man, this is nice. This is so simple, but I like it. I'm going to give this one about an 8 out of 10. Yeah, good job. I like this. Next club is, don't look at me like that, because you're not going to get me. It's the Niger Tornadoes. And I've noted, I actually, in the beginning, I should have mentioned this. I do know this club. And I knew about this club not because of what you think. It's because I thought it was interesting that there was a. I didn't understand why they were called the Niger Tornadoes, because when I think of Niger, obviously I think of the country north of Nigeria. But the crest is extremely unique. I don't understand why they're called the Niger Tornadoes, literally whatsoever, because I don't even think Nigeria has tornadoes. And I also don't understand why they're called Niger. But either way, love the crest. So unique. It's got an actual freaking tornado in it, which, name me one other club that has a tornado in it in the world. There's nothing that comes off the top of my head that actually has that in it. The color scheme actually, I mean, even though your focus when you're looking at it is going to go on obviously the tornado, but the color scheme itself is actually nice as well. I have no idea what you would call either of these colors, but I like it. It just works. This is another one that I'm going to give a high score to. I'm going to give this one a solid 8 out of 10. And the next club that we have is Plateau United FC. Where's Plateau? Plateau is based in, is that Jos? Where is this? This is located in that central region. Is that near Abuja? I have no idea. Can't really tell based on this map. But Plateau United FC, quite an old team, 60,000 seat stadium. My goodness. Is this in Abuja? Is that where the national team plays? It doesn't actually tell me where the stadium is or what the stadium is. Oh, actually, here it is. No, actually, that doesn't. That just tells me where the ground is. Is that the national steam stadium? Because that's a huge stadium for them to be playing in. 1975, they were established, 50 years old. So this crest, I don't like it as much as the other ones, but I think it's a nice crest. I would give this one 7.5 out of 7.5 out of 10. Again, it's got that football in the middle of it. It seems like most crests have that in it, and I don't really understand why, unless that's just something that it's just a thing there, maybe. But I like the green, the color scheme with the green, the different shades of green. I like the yellow in it. Could possibly be doing a little bit more with the text there at the bottom. I don't like how the United kind of just does that. I think you could actually go without that and maybe pay homage to the actual city or something in that. But overall, it's a pretty nice looking crest. And the next one is, wow, surprisingly, the Remo Stars does not have a crest for me to review. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one, Rivers United FC. So this is a club that I probably know the second most about because it's got an interesting story. If you're looking at the crest right now, you might be thinking that's a little cartoonish, and I agree for the most part. But if you know why there's a shark and a dolphin on there, it'll make sense. Back in, gosh, I guess it would have been close to 10 years ago now, Sharks FC and Dolphins FC merged together to form Rivers United FC. So now you get why there's a dolphin and a shark on there. So I've actually always liked this, the color, or not the colors. I've always liked this crest. I actually, a couple of years ago, I actually was trying to look for a kit for Rivers United FC, and I couldn't find one, which bummed me out a little bit. But located in Port Harcourt, they've got a 40,000 seat stadium. I like their kits too, to be honest with you. But I like the crest on a personal level, but if I'm being completely honest, it's probably more of a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10. But just because it has a freaking dolphin and a shark on there, knowing the history of it, I've got to at least give it a 7 out of 10. And there's 3 clubs left on Wikipedia. Are there any that has a crest I can look at? Okay, the last one has something I can look at. So this is the last one of the video. The Sunshine Stars Football Club. And first of all, that's an awesome name. Second of all, they are located in Akure? I don't know where that is either. Where is this? Ondo State? Which looks like, I don't know if it is, but that has to be close. Close, I didn't say it is, so don't butcher me in the comment to my family. But that has to be at least close to the same state my sister-in-law lives in. So if I'm completely wrong about that, my bad. So the crest itself, there is quite a lot of text in this. Their nickname is the Owena Waves, which is at the bottom of the crest. Sunshine Stars FC is written in the crest. The name of the city is written in the crest. And what is that little text on the side here? Established 1995. The pride of Ondo State? Ondo State? Okay. There's a lot of text in this crest, which I don't like. But the crest itself, I actually do like. Sunshine Star, it's got a star in it. It's got the S in it, which I got to assume stands for sunshine. And there's a star that literally makes sense. The color scheme is quite nice. It just works. And they're one of the teams that actually has a foreign player on their club from Uganda. So shout out to Moses Oketh for being one of the foreign players on the team. So overall, I still think this is a strong Crest, but I'm gonna probably give this one a 6 out of 10. So there are the rankings, blind rankings, by the way. Majority of these I saw for the first time doing this video of the Nigerian Premier League. Now, let's end this video with a goodbye. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Let me know what crest was your favorite. To be honest with you, I actually liked a lot of these, but mostly because they're all unique compared to what I'm used to, looking at North America and Europe. So the uniqueness of these crests to me was just cool. So that said, please leave me a comment, leave me a like, please subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. You can always unsubscribe if you change your mind. And I got to send my wife some pictures of me in this outfit. So everybody, please, 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 we're going to be doing a little bit more of these blind rankings for countries that I don't know. So subscribe. Make sure you watch my previous video. Off-season shenanigans. Got to do something. Please have a good week. Have a good weekend. Whenever this video drops, it's Memorial Day weekend here in the States. So just be safe and have a good time.